You got it.
Okay, good. Call this meeting of the Community Preservation Committee on January 25th to order. We have members present, myself, Gina Guasconi, Carlton Hunt, the Vice Chair, Harry Bailey, Bill Smith, Jeff Merriman, and Stacy Driscoll. Did I miss any of our CPC members? I think I got all. Guests at this point are Early Kenny Hunt, Teresa Reynolds, Gordon Brailsford, and Kim Williams. The assistant
so I can hear what's going on.
I can't.
Oh,
okay. We have somebody that is just listed as iPhone. Could you just identify yourself for our records, please?
Yeah. Problem.
Well, I want to be able to hear if I can't.
Okay, the person that's on iPhone, you're muted. I'm not sure who you are.
Barbara Maury.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Gina. I'm going to change my name. I'm going to get out of iPhone. I'll name me.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, meeting's called to order. As I said, members present, this meeting is being recorded and will be available on the town's website. I believe it takes like 2 days to be on. First for the, oops, sorry about that. I usually take that off. Okay. Okay, Chair's comments. The only comment I have is that Allison, and I'm probably going to say her name wrong, and Allison, I apologize, Circuit Kim or Carlton, you say her name, from the library. She's the archivist who did a more than excellent job putting together their application for the digitization and display cases in the library. Unfortunately for the town, but fortunately for her, she's taken a job at BU, so she'll be leaving our library. But she did a great job and we'll miss her. Public comments?
It's Patton on.
Okay, hearing no public comments. Approval of minutes for December 28th. Debbie from the town council, town manager's office had sent them out last week with the agenda packet.
Yep.
Okay. Motion to accept.
Motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Who is that with the second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Carlton. Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll call for a roll call vote. Gina, yes. Carlton?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Maureen? Or you?
I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay. Actually, Bill, you weren't either, correct?
That's true. So I will abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. Harry?
Yes.
Okay, and I think that's it. Okay, great. So we have 1, 2, 5 yeses and 2 abstentions. We're missing somebody. Okay, 5 and 2 abstentions and 1 person's missing tonight. So
we're missing Pat right now. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Review of the financial reports. Just let you know that we did receive the surplus funds that was in the state budget. It represents an additional $67,485 for a total of $317,103 that Bridgewater received as a state distribution, which equates to a match of 38.5%, which is good. We have the other thing for that is the payment of the invoice for our coalition membership dues. As you know, we belong to the Community Preservation Coalition for the state. There is a membership dues for that. We've received the invoice, and it's for, of course, I didn't write that amount down.
2,100 and something.
Is it $28.95, Carlton?
Maybe it is.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we do have the invoice that we'd like to get paid. If we could have a motion to pay that, is $2,895.
It's already been submitted and paid.
I'll move to pay the amount invoiced.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, the coalition, if you're not familiar with it, is wonderful and helps us with so many things, answers our questions. They're always on hand for it. So it's money well spent.
And I will add to that, for those that are new, the coalition is a group of all of the communities. They charge this fee for our support, but they lobby. Quite frankly, they are able to lobby the legislature, and they do a lot of heavy work to make sure the Green Committee, the CPA is active and well run. Thank you.
Okay, good. Roll call vote. Gina, myself, yes. Carlton?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Harry?
Yes.
Okay, that's 7 yeses, no's, or abstentions. Before we move on to old business, or I'm sorry, Carlton, do you want to share the financials and we'll just take a quick look at those?
I will do that. Just give me a couple of seconds here.
Okay, thank you.
There it should be.
Got it.
Yep, we
Try to
got
make
it.
it slightly bigger. All set?
Yep,
Yep.
that looks good.
Perfect. You're getting good at this.
Gina, you're going to explain it? Do you want me to work on it?
You can explain it. Go ahead.
Okay, we have 3 screens. One is a statement of the revenue that we've generated so far, year to date, fiscal year to date, as of 12/31/22. That's the upper left panel, and the actual amount that's come in. So basically, we budgeted last year $775,000 from the real estate surcharge, and to date we have received $420,000. So the available simply means we're expecting another $354,000. Essentially, I'm going to let Eileen in. Essentially, what it's saying there is we're on target for our real estate. The next line is tax liens on redeemed tax regrets. That all has to do with past activities, and so we don't budget that, but we received an additional $113,000. I'll get it out. $1,320,000. And then there's some penalties that go along with that. So that's another 700. And then the state revenue match, which does not include the additional amount that we just recently received of 250 budgeted. We received an actual amount of 249,600, but that can go up. That I know it was almost $40,000. So that number will go up at the next meeting. If you look at on the left, there is a fund balance, and that simply is telling us what we have funds. So the upper piece of that is the amount of money that the town has appropriated again, remember, we recommend to the town for appropriations except underneath the administrative code. So that's the amount of funds that has been appropriated and is waiting to be expended. The next basically one is a fund balance, and it's there are 3 fund balances: open space, historic, and affordable housing. So those are the 3 there, and then there's an additional fund balance that I think it's about 29,000 that we haven't moved, or the books haven't moved the money into the reserve account. So that's just done. And then the undesignated basically says that's the money that is not in the reserve accounts and is available for appropriation. Any questions? Okay, so the lower left panel is a nice piece that actually shows by different account numbers that what we have expended to date. So example is the administrative budget that we had $40,000. We've expended $6,794 against that. So we have in the admin fund about $30,000. The appropriation that we just did, I believe, reduced that slightly. Well, and then we have the administrative, I stand corrected. The administrative expenses dues is what we just voted on. So we have a few, 25 bucks or so left in that account that will go back to the undesignated reserve. So if we look at the congregational church, which is the next one line, we appropriated 200,000. None of that money has been accessed. So basically that 200,000 is still on the books as accessible. The townhouse roof project, again, 82,500 was appropriated, and no money has been accessed for that. So that's available. The pickleball project, we appropriated $2,980. And right now there's a positive balance of $1,000 expenses that have shown up. That's what I'm seeing. And so we have 1,979 available. We have some more conversations around that. The Styles and Hart Improvement Project, 1.3 million was appropriated for that. The town has spent 8,000 and change of that money for various studies that were required. So we still are in good shape there. Remember, we also have a grant from the state that will reimburse about half of the cost there. So the good news there is that we're only going to spend about 750,000 or that thereabouts out of our money, and the rest comes back. Going on.
Has the state grant actually been approved for that, by the way?
I think it's pending a couple of things. Maybe Harry knows a bit more, but I know that we have to get the wetlands delineation done, which we will speak about in a little bit on another project. And there's also a couple of other, I think a work plan or something. So basically it's pending us completing some work. I don't know if anybody else.
Sounds good.
The McElwain redevelopment project, I forget how much we issued, but basically of that account, there's $135,000 that's available to them, and that is specifically appropriated or allocated to the playground park area of that development. And we'll talk a bit more about where they're at in a little bit. And then finally, there's a couple of other things in there. They're the bonds that we cover, the Keith Homestead bond, which matures in another 3 years, and also the Academy Building bond, which matures quite some time down the road. But that's basically what we've spent against what has been appropriated, if I can say that. And I'll leave it at that. If there's other questions, let me know.
That's good. Thank you, Carlton. I'd like to just point out for the library, it's a BWPL, Conservation and Preservation, shows a balance available of almost $69,000. The library just received bills for invoices for just about that amount. So that amount should be that incumbent should be closing out.
So you're saying that should be zeroed out. There's no adders or anything of that nature, right?
There, Jed Phillips, the director of the library, is checking to make sure there's no other invoices coming in. He's checking with Allison before she leaves for her new job. But I think I saw 2 invoices today for him. What was close to 64,000. The other was just over 4,000. So it's going to basically use it all up.
Great. So that's the financial report, and I'll leave it at that. We're in decent shape. You know, we're not rolling in money, as they say, but at least we got more money coming in than we had anticipated. That's good.
Right. Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Before we hit old business, we have, if you want to move ahead, well, we actually have 2 sets of guests here tonight. Okay, let's just do item 1 under old business, and then I'll entertain a motion to take one of the new business items out of order. Applications received, the Broad Street properties. At the last meeting, we had voted to hold off a vote on it. That's the Broad Street properties next to the Chinese restaurant by the giant billboard. There's 2 lots there. The town's looking to take those as to be part of the Styles and Hart Parkland. Last meeting we had voted, if you remember, if you weren't here, to update you, that we asked the town manager to provide a bonding scenario and also the wetlands delineation. We're looking for both of those before we took a vote. We did receive the wetlands delineation today, which was sent out to you this afternoon, and you probably haven't had a chance to see it, but
I'm going to share my screen. I'm struggling here with a couple of things. But anyway, I'm showing the wetlands.
No, you're showing your calendar.
My email to you.
I apologize. I am now totally confused here. Let me.
Okay. You're fixing that. We, however, didn't receive the bonding scenario. The town manager has indicated that he's fine if we hold off till February for a vote, and hopefully he can be here at the time too. But in a nutshell, we had requested 2 pieces of information from him. We received 1 today. I know Pat Driscoll was extremely interested in both pieces, and I don't see that he's here.
I text Pat and see if I.
So,
can you see the screen now? Is it working?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
we
So,
can.
here in yellow are the 2 parcels that are under consideration. The yellow line here is apparently the wetlands area. So basically this is in the upland area. And this is one of 2 things that Mr. Driscoll had asked that we'd be able to see. So this gives you an idea of this property and its relationship to the wetlands. You can see a vernal pool potentially here and some other issues. I haven't studied it, but at least we have it, okay?
Mm-hmm. Where is the river, Carlton? Is that?
I don't know if you can see my screen, but it would be down screen. Let me see if I can show it more.
Looks like you can pull it.
There's the existing pond that's out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of thing. The river's right here.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop sharing, and hopefully I won't have so many problems as I go forward with this. Thank you.
No, you're doing a good job. So
Were those
having,
parcels? Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Bill.
Are those two parcels going to be used for parking, or why are we considering purchasing them?
The intent is for parking. If they find that they can't put parking there, that it will be used for open space to go along with the park. Harry or Carlton might be able to provide more info on that.
I'll defer to Harry first.
We have to take a better look at it, but I think there's enough for some parking, and we're going to use 2 or 3 different areas for parking. So we'll go from there.
Good.
Thank you, Harry. That's
right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't guess the billboards are on that property, are there?
Yes, they are.
Well, does that mean we can get rid of the billboards?
Just like they did at the warehouse.
yes.
Mhm.
If we own the property, it's ours to do. What? I will say that the property taking, I believe I will have to put a conservation restriction on that also, because it's a CPA acquisition. So I don't know what the costs are for that, but I believe that has to happen on any property that CPC and the town council appropriates some money for. There is a question of, do we pay for the parking lot itself, or is that other money? Right now, we are acquiring this apparently as open space for recreational purposes.
Yeah, okay.
And if we don't have a clarity in terms of its use, then I'm going to suggest that we not take an action tonight. Actually, the second action that was requested under that was the bonding scenario. I don't believe we have to bond this, but there was a request underneath this discussion. And therefore, and I've had an email from the town manager that indicates that he has not been able to get the bonding scenario spreadsheet filled out. And since we don't have that action, I'm going to suggest that we postpone action to the next meeting.
I agree.
I agree.
Will we have any assurance that the billboards will be removed?
Once we own the property, yeah.
Probably under contract. You'll have to find out what their contract.
I don't know I don't know what the arrangements are with people that use those billboards, but I'm assuming there will be some kind of contractual something to discuss. That's just another question to have answered at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So we'll add that to the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, Maureen, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I do. I'm just curious. If we keep postponing it, will the property be available?
Yes.
Do they have other people looking at the property?
No.
No.
No? Okay.
No, good question though. Thank you.
Yeah.
The agreement was the folks that own it came to the town saying that they were willing to sell it to us for a certain amount of money. And I believe at the last meeting, town manager indicated that it was below market value.
Right, and it's being classified as a taking, eminent domain, not a purchase.
Yeah, whoever owns the property is probably getting a handsome rental for the billboards. I'm sure they are.
I'm betting that you're correct.
Yeah.
But you know, if the town wants to rent it out and get the revenue and the contracts and work, that's one thing. But you make great points, but let's have a conversation with the town manager at the next meeting on that if you all wish to do the same.
Okay, to not vote to hold off, I don't believe we need to take a vote not to vote. Am I correct with that? We're just saying to hold off on the vote.
If you want to make it formal,
Make a motion to continue.
Continue it.
Okay, Harry, motion to continue.
Yes.
Okay, do we second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Myself, Gina, yes. Carlton?
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and Harry.
Yes.
Okay, 7 yes, 0 no's.
Oh, she's not a member?
Okay, and hopefully we have the rest of the information, and save up your questions, good questions, for the town manager for those things. And I heard some good questions tonight. If you want to just send those along to me, we can forward them to the town manager so he can be prepared for the additional questions that we have for him. Thank you. Next is the Central Square Congregational Church phases 2 and 3 is still on hold pending. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to, under new business, we have an eligibility form for the Parthenon freezes. Is that how you say that, Norley?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. We have the eligibility form, which you received in your agenda packet. We also received this afternoon the application. The eligibility form was very detailed. The application is basically the same thing. I did send that out to folks today, real late this afternoon, probably when you were eating supper. But if we could vote at least on the eligibility form tonight, Marilee Hunt is the one who has submitted the eligibility form, and she has a brief update on it, a PowerPoint, just to show more of these things, these freezes.
Okay, so they're actually, I'll explain to you when we do the PowerPoint why it's just a freeze. We have several pieces of the freeze. And Carlton, can you put the PowerPoint up?
I just put it up.
It isn't showing yet.
No, we don't have it at Carlton.
All right. Share. I click share. It's loading it. I don't know. Is it not showing up yet?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Then I am in trouble. Bear with me.
Okay. Okay, this is a prelude, as you've probably seen from the eligible form. Oops.
Oh, we got something coming up. There it is.
Okay, good.
I am trainable.
Now can you just put a presentation instead?
I just did.
There you go. Okay. So this is from, I happen to be the chair of the Townhouse Restoration Committee. So that's where this request is coming from. It's a committee of the town. So of course it's a town request and coming through the town manager. So just wanted to make you be aware of that. And Carlton, could you go to the first slide, the second slide? So this is our request to you for transport, restoration, and the mounting of 6 pieces of art that has been replicated from the original molds of the Parthenon frieze. So the Parthenon in Greece, on top of the Acropolis, a very ancient building. And the frieze is exactly where Carlton was having his little arrow go. It went the entire way around the Parthenon. So that was the frieze. And what has happened as the building has aged, it's and part of antiquity and fallen apart. It's the parts that have been preserved are now mostly in the British Museum and in a few other places. And as far as I understand it, I don't have the dates precise, but somewhere I believe in the 1800s, in the mid 1800s, the museum allowed one person from the United States to come in and make molds of those pieces of the frieze. And so there is, as far as I have been able to discover, one company in the United States legally allowed to produce reproductions of the Parthenon frieze, and they're limited in quantity and that sort of thing. And we believe that that company is Caproni, which is in Woburn, Mass. And I've spoken with them. I've sent them pictures of the friezes that we have currently, and they believe that 5 of the 6 of them are from their collection. So that's where we would be transporting them and sending them for restoration. Carlton, do you want to go to the next slide? So the reason why do we care about 6 pretty battered and bad looking pieces of art from the early 1900s, from the earliest 20th century? So I went back to the annual town report from 1912. That's the year that the McElwain School was built, which we're seeing right now, the kind of restoration, the second life of the McElwain School. This is a piece from the town meeting that was recorded in that town report. And you'll see the whereas, the second whereas there is that William McElwain during his lifetime was an honored citizen of Bridgewater. And this is the motion to name the school after him. He died before the land was given to the town, but the land had been inherited by his brother, and his brother donated the land to the town to build that school. So then Carlton, the next slide. So why does that mean anything about 6 pieces of the Parthenon frieze, right? That didn't explain anything about why we're talking about the Parthenon frieze. So let's go on to the next slide, Carlton. Because in the school report, in that same annual town report, I found these words, and I'll go down to just the ones that I have highlighted there. They're talking about each room in the building is going to have engravings and plaster casts, which were selected with reference and are adapted to the age and intellectual development of the children who are going to be in that room. And those were also donated by the McElwains. And you'll see over in the other side of the page that there was a feeling then this is from the principal of the school who was writing his annual report. He said they feel that this has added greatly to the educational value of the building. And those plaster casts that they are talking about are the 6 pieces of the frieze that we're asking for you to fund the restoration. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Among those engravings and plaster casts, this is some more of their language. They said in that report that the expense was far too large for the taxpayers to bear the burden. So the McElwains bore the burden of paying for and donating those 6 plaster casts of the Parthenon frieze. And you'll see here is one of the, not ours, we have a replica of this same scene, but ours does not look this pristine. This is what it would look like perhaps in the British Museum. And I can show you more what ours look like in the next slide. This is what ours look like, which is very sad. You can see the hunks have been broken out of this one. This is a children playing piece of the frieze. And I was heartsick when I went over and saw that they had been so poorly treated. This is a recent thing that has happened, I would say within the past 8 months or so, that has actually been broken like this. And it's part of what motivated me to say, let's do something with these, on top of the fact that we need to get things cleaned out of the town hall so we can start to restore the old townhouse. And these are things that could be taken out and restored and placed in the Academy building. and will look beautiful. So I think that's my last slide. Yeah, so that's my last slide. You can take the presentation down if you want to. And
that's great. Oh, go ahead, Meryl.
No, you go ahead, Gina, if you have something.
No, I was just going to say, first off, thank you for a great PowerPoint presentation. Can we retroactively, I had asked that we take this out of order, but we didn't actually have a motion for it. So before we continue on with it, just to be official here, can we have a motion to take that out of order?
Motion to take it out of order and continue.
Second.
Okay, that was Bill, you did a second?
Yes, yep.
Okay, discussion. Okay, hearing none, roll call. Gina, yes. Carlton?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Harry? Seven
Yes.
yeses. Okay, thank you. Now we'll pretend that Meryl is doing her presentation now.
You're very smart to do that, because you would have just had to wait through the meeting and I would have done the whole presentation over again at your old business. So you're very smart to just get it over with.
Yep.
So our request that we sent, well, let me tell them what my request is. Would you want me to do that, Gina, or no?
Well, we have an eligibility form before us for $18,000 that covers the preservation, restoration, preservation, transportation, and mounting of those. And as Merrily indicated, the idea is to put them in the Academy building along the, when you go in, the
above, when you come into the Academy building through the front doors, and there's the I don't know what to call it, the railing, and you can look down to the basement. You look above, and there's a balcony upstairs where the town manager's office is. And these would go on the 3 walls around that balcony. So you'd see one of the longer frieze, longer pieces that hook together, that are the horses riding and everything, would probably be in that long piece under the balcony. And then another one over on the right-hand side, which would be above my office, and another one on the left-hand side, which would be above the treasurer's office, if people can picture that.
Okay, great, thank you. Any questions for Merrily on?
I think this is a great idea. I really like the idea of they're having educational value when people come into the townhouse, the newly restored townhouse. They can see these lovely panels, which are part of the frieze. It seems to me that we would want to identify them in some way. I guess we can talk about that later, or whether we would want funding to have some kind of plaque or brass plaque or something, because they all have individual names. They depict scenes like Alexander and Babylon and so forth and so on. Isn't that right, Marilee?
Yes, that's right. And Caproni has said, noticed the names of them already as I sent them pictures. So yes, we know which they are.
Yeah, and of course, most of you, probably all of you, have seen the Elgin Marbles in the British Museum. The first thing you see when you come in through the building on the left side, it's like the centerpiece of the probably one of the most, after the Rosetta Stone, probably the most important items in the British Museum. And they have beautiful lighting. I remember the lighting is beautiful. I wonder if we should think about lighting these in some way to give them more dramatic effect, since this will be one of the centerpieces of the certainly of the foyer of the town hall or townhouse. Excuse me,
Bill. I just want to correct it. We're not planning on putting them in the townhouse.
Oh,
we're putting them in the Academy.
Ah, oh, okay.
In the Academy, right when you come in. So lighting.
That's even better.
Yeah, I think it'll be beautiful. I've thought it would be beautiful for 7 years that I've been there. So, but that's just me. And lighting may be something to consider. What I would think of right now is there's a beautiful window up above that shines right down into that area. That's why we have the glass door there and everything, so that the entry is well lighted and attractive. Not that they might not need some underlight, you know, lighting them up or something like that. But I kind of like to see what we see, and maybe have, you know, you or somebody who's really got, or even Jay Block. Jay Block has done a great job with our committee. He's part of our committee, and so get some kind of expert ideas about what to do. Jay Block, for people who don't know, is the director of the Wallace Anderson Art Gallery at Bridgewater State University. And he designed a little sketch on the new banner on the town hall that says that we're restoring from the top down over there. If you see the sketch of the townhouse on that. So I didn't mean to jump in and correct you, Bill, but I wanted to say, because we don't know when the townhouse is going to be restored enough to take anything like this. I think they'll be beautiful in the Academy building.
Oh, they will be. There's no doubt. I don't know why I got it in my head that it was going to be in. They were going to be in the townhouse. I guess because we fixated on the restoration of the townhouse.
And we think they'll be very safe. Another thing is with restoring something like this, you worry about any kind of artwork, putting it on the walls in a public building that somebody could walk in and walk out with it. They definitely are not going to walk out with these plaster casts that are on the balcony walls. So somebody had a hand up.
Yep. Yeah, I just want to, since we're talking about its eligibility as a historic artifact of the town of Bridgewater, I just wanted to make sure all of us were in agreement, potentially, but take a vote that this is in fact, number one, an historic artifact. If we were doing some kind of building or something, we'd have to have a letter from the Historic Commission that said that this was in fact historical. I don't think we need that for this, but I want to make sure we all understand this is well over 100 years old, 110 years old, and they represent history going way back. And I suspect that those of you that might have gone to the McElwain School could remember them hanging in their classroom. So I personally believe they are eligible, but I want to make sure the committee understands my points.
I will add too, I have asked for letters of support from the Historical Commission, from the Historic District Commission, and from the Bridgewater State University Art Gallery. So, and I have assurances that those letters of support will be coming, but since I just asked for them today, we don't have them yet.
That's right.
You're not asking, you're just saying the approximate cost estimate right now is about $18,000. That's not part of our consideration right now, but that number is out there.
Yes, and it's really my best guess. Caproni told me that they thought each one of the casts would cost from $1,200 to $1,600 to be restored. A person who spoke to me about transportation said he thought that transportation would cost about $2,000 to take them up to Woburn and about $2,000 to bring them back from Woburn. I have absolutely no idea. I haven't had any chance yet to talk about what it would cost to mount them on those upper walls and make sure that they're mounted very securely and appropriately. The $18,000 includes the highest cost, taking the highest cost of the restoration, $1,600 for all 6 of them. It includes the $4,000 for transportation up and back, and it leaves $4,400 for the mounting of them. I must say, I hoped when I was doing it that I was going to the highest end so that we'd be asking for the most and there would maybe be something left over to give back. I don't know that that's true. You know, this is all when they get them in front of them, they said the broken pieces, they're going to be able to fix the broken pieces. And that one that I showed you had hunks knocked out of it. They know that, they've seen it. And so I'm hoping that their estimates are right. I'm hoping that the transporter's estimates are right, but I don't have guarantees about that. The one other thing I'm doing, because I'm very well aware CPA would like to not be the sole funder of projects, and I wholeheartedly endorse that. I am asking if there's any money left from the local cultural council, but in all truth, their grant requests were due last September and October, and the awards were supposed to have been made at the end of last week. And I'm guessing that they've probably made decisions about where they're appropriating all their money already. I did put in to ask them for $4,000, which is a pretty good hunk for a local cultural council. And I will pursue that and see if we can do that. If we do that, that would take off from what we would need from CPC. So doing my little bit to try to spread the pain.
Good, thank you, Maureen.
Muted.
I have to unmute. I have a question for you, Marilee. Is it possible while they're out getting repaired, could they somehow put some sort of device on the back of these so they can be hung easily, or, you know?
Yes, they do. Yes,
okay,
they do. They put, okay. They probably, depending on where you're going to put them, we'll be able to talk to them about,
okay,
so that it's sufficiently supportive, right? Of exactly. They're not going to come crashing down on anyone's head while they're paying their taxes. That wouldn't.
Maybe they can advise what the best method of supporting them while they're up that way. You know. Yes,
I'm hoping between that and Laurie Doherty has been a big help to me, and he's had a lot of art experience in his business of transporting art and all of that sort of thing. So if you guys know of any people with expertise, please send them our way, because I'm really happy to learn. I'm not pretending that I know everything about this, far from it.
Well, we're very fortunate that we have Larry Doherty. I mean, he worked at the FOG, and he's the go-to person, one of the go-to people in the entire state when for art, transportation, and general knowledge about art. We're very fortunate that he lives in Bridgewater.
Yes, I feel that.
Hi, I'm going to interject here. Since Marilee and I are sitting in the same room, and we've been partners for pushing 60, 40, 70, yeah, we've been together for a long time. And because I have no personal financial interest other than as a taxpayer of Bridgewater, I do not need to recuse myself on an eligibility vote.
Are you making a statement?
That was a statement. Okay. I also would like us to move forward.
Okay, you'd also like to, what, Carlton?
Are there any other questions, Gina? Do people have questions, concerns, or anything? I'd be happy to answer, but I don't want to monopolize your time.
Okay, no, I think it's a great project. And as Carlton said, we're just voting on our eligibility. We're not voting on the dollar amount. So if we can have, if somebody wants to make a motion to say that, yes, it is eligible as historic preservation.
I will make that motion.
Okay, second.
Second.
Is that Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call vote. Gina? Yes. Carlton? Carlton, you're muted.
Carlton, you're muted. There we go.
Okay. Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Maureen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Harry. Great.
A big yes.
Okay, great. 7 yeses to affirmative votes that the project is eligible. I sent, as I said before, I sent out, I emailed you a copy of the application, probably shortly before the meeting, but it will be in the packet for next month too for a vote. Okay. Thank you so much, Marilee.
Gina, quick follow-up.
Yes.
The application, we're not voting on the application tonight, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll just note that we have received an application, but it has a lot of the detail we talked about tonight, and that will be before us next month.
Right. Yeah, as I said, I did send the application out to the committee tonight, shortly before the meeting, but with people not having the chance to look at it.
I didn't see the email with the application.
Okay, it was. I'd say
I'm just looking at my email now, so I did not.
Let me look to see if yours bounced back. Sometimes.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I'll check, and if it did, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Going back to old business, back to the agenda order. Item 2, funded projects updates. The library project, the archival and digitation project. As we said, they received the final couple of votes, invoices today. So that's just about done. I was in there yesterday and they're in the process of setting up a new display. So give them a couple of days and drop by and see it. It looks great. Next is this, I'm sorry. Was there a question? Nope, okay. Stiles and Parkland improvements are in process. That's not what we talked about earlier tonight. This, we had already voted on it. It was the 1.3 million for improvements to the park, with a possible 50% reimbursable grant for that. Central Square Congregational Church. If anybody has a question on these as I'm going through, just jump in. Central Square Congregational Church Historic Restoration, the deed restriction and grant agreement are still in process. I had reached out to PAL, the company that's the agency that's preparing the deed restriction, to see where we stood. I just got a response back from the woman, Ginny Adams. It looks like we still needed a couple things that I thought we had submitted. So I'm going to take a good look at that. And Carlton and Barbara or somebody from the church can look at it too. I apologize for the ringing. Okay, so hopefully that will be resolved soon. I think we all want to see that taken care of and done so the work can start. Okay, next, pickleball courts. We're just waiting for the final report and to verify some of the charges that were paid. The memorial building is almost done. We did a walkthrough last week, I think it was. It looks gorgeous inside. That's nearing completion. We're waiting for the maintenance plan and a final report from them.
Can't hear you, Carlton.
Oh, Carlton, I'm sorry, you're muted.
Still can't hear you.
No, you're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Go ahead, Gina.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. I think before she was coming through on Marilee's, and it looks like she's left the meeting. Okay, Memorial Building. What did I say? We're waiting for the final report. The occupancy, the town's waiting for the occupancy report. We're still waiting for a maintenance plan. McKellar School, we did a walkthrough a few weeks ago, and I believe they're just waiting for an occupancy plan as well. And that's nearing completion. The taking of the Summer Street mobile station property was approved by the town council, I think 2 weeks ago. So we're in the process of our award letter for that. The Hemlock Drive windows and door replacement was approved by the town council on the same night. And the same thing, the award letter is in process. Carlton, you're muted. Did you have something to add? You're muted right now. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Any questions or comments on any of those funded projects? Okay, hearing none. Eligibility forms approved that are waiting for applications. Hanson's Farm, they've completed the survey. The surveyors have to come back because they have to, the Hansons need to, it needs to be in the surveying plan, the buildings that they want to keep for their ownership. So that's being updated. The schedule for the the purchase in the agricultural restriction is being revised by the town manager. Methodist Church for historic restoration. The application is still being worked on. Questions for any of those, either of those? Okay, administrative account updates. Jennings Hill Cemetery, the restoration of gravestones, it's still in process. There are folks that those funds were awarded to were trying to get a hold of the person who is going to teach them how to restore the stones. And it's a busy time for that person, so that's in process. The senior center design study for recreational trails, areas, community gardens. The final plan is in process. Emily Williams has received from Melissa Desjardins, who's they
won't be able to hear you because
design person for it. She's asked Melissa to make, Emily has asked Melissa to make a couple of updates, and they will be having an additional public hearing on that. They're just waiting for a date. Okay. Carlton, you're back with?
Marilyn, please stay here. Leave it here.
They're laughing at you.
I have to, just technology is driving me nuts right now. Just a minute.
Okay.
Mute yourself.
That sounds like the Twilight Zone.
Well,
can I just ask, while you're doing that, we have somebody on here and the name is J.I. Is it Jim? J-I-M-U? Just
JMU.
Okay.
Oh,
can I just have a name that goes with that? Somebody, do we have a name for Jim? You?
Jim, you. And he's muted.
Yep.
Gina, I believe that's Nick Baggis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Gina, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I thought you looked familiar.
I wasn't making the noise. I'm gonna mute myself again.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to know who went with the name. Great. Okay, Carlton. Can't hear you.
Press your
Okay, Harry.
Press your mute button.
Yeah. Okay, well, Carlton's figuring that. Moving on, completion of documents. We're still working on the policies and procedures, and we have the town has approved our template for the award letter and grant agreements. So we'll be getting out those letters for the projects that were just approved. Okay, other old business. I don't think I covered it here, and I think I left it off the agenda, was the trails at the prison, the old State Farm trails that at the last meeting, we had approved the application, and well, we had recommended to the town council to fund the application, and that was voted on at their meeting last night. So the town council did approve that. Questions on any of those? Carlton, can't hear you. Okay. If you want to text me to Carlton, I'll pass on. Okay. Any other old business? Hearing none. New business. We already acted on the eligibility form. Any other new business? Okay, hearing none. Committee representative input. I'll start with Parks and Recreation. Nothing new going on. Just working on getting the fields and all the facilities more than winterized. Nothing CPC related with them other than finalizing the pickleball award. Bill, anything with Historic District?
Yes, the chair and the vice chair of the Historic District Commission met with town manager at the end of November to discuss violations of the bylaw. We had a list of violations and discussed them in detail, and we're sure they would be taken care of. So we're hoping that these issues will be addressed.
Great, thank you. Maureen, anything for?
I don't think so, but maybe Eileen Heine can pipe in if there's something that I have forgotten. She's listening in, I believe.
Okay, Eileen?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Stacy.
Just everybody is extremely thrilled about moving forward with the CPC funding for the windows and the restoration. It's going to be a great project moving forward.
Great, thank you. Jeff?
No new updates.
Okay. Let's see, Harry?
In conservation, I've been real busy with our project at Stiles and Hart. This has been a project that's been ongoing with me and Kitty for probably 5 years. we do have a couple of projects coming before us. The main one is Aldridge, right by the church. We're going to have a meeting on that tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. I'm not too thrilled with it. So,
is that Harry? Is that corner lot that they cleared everything?
It sure is.
Where is this now?
It's
6 Aldridge Road.
Right. It's basically the corner of Aldrich Road and Center Street. It's where the road kind of bends or curves.
Oh yes, yes. Uh-huh.
And they just cleared all the trees and all the land out back.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, but you got an echo, but it's understandable.
I'm having a serious technology problem.
Sounds like you have 2 microphones on.
I do.
Sounds like you have a dog barking too.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Well,
it's pretty bad.
I'm gonna.
Can't hear you. No, do you want to jump to Marilee's computer?
The problem is I have her computer on that I'm speaking through. My computer is not working right. And I was going to offer a PowerPoint on the memorial building, but with this technology problem, we're not going to do that tonight.
Okay, thank you. We'll have something else to look forward to with the February meeting for the PowerPoint. Okay, Harry, you said you had 2 things, Aldrich Road. Was there another one?
No, just regular conservation business.
Okay, good. I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody for a report? No, I think that's everybody. Okay, any public comments? Okay, hearing none. I think we're going to have a record time meeting. Our next meeting is February 25th at 6:30. The venue's to be announced, but more than likely it'll still be Zoom.
Have committees gone back to any face-to-face meetings at this point or not?
As far as I know, it's just the town council.
Okay.
Gina?
Yes?
February 25th is a Saturday.
Oh.
How about the 23rd?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Well, that's a Thursday. That's a Thursday, isn't it?
Okay, 22nd. What's the holiday?
We'll get this right when we're. Okay.
Washington's birthday and Ash Wednesday, the 22nd.
Okay, the 22nd. Great catch, Harry.
Only because I got the calendar right in front of me.
And it's funny because I wrote that date to the town manager a couple of times today for things. Guess we didn't look at the calendar when we did the agenda. Okay, hearing anything else to be covered? Okay, thank you everybody for being here and attending, for your input. And as always, it was good to see everybody. Okay, motion.
That's one of your records. We're getting out of here early. Motion to adjourn.
I know, and I hurried to eat supper because I thought I don't usually get to eat till 9:30 on meeting nights, but okay. So Harry has a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Maureen, second. Any discussion other than it's Harry said it's
no discussion on that
no,
motion.
we're making a record here. Okay, roll call to adjourn. Gina, myself, yes. Carlton, yes. Bill?
Yes.
Okay, Maureen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Harry?
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Thank
good night.
you again.
Great meeting.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, John Boy.
Okay, now I think if I just, okay.
Okay, now let's do Carlton. Carlton, test it out now. Oh yeah, you still get the echo, but
I can't even get it to stop recording.
I noticed.
You guys,
I think if we all leave, it'll stop.
what's that?
I think if we all leave, it'll stop.
Okay, let's do that.